All right, guys, it's been a few days since our last loss in Ahmedabad. That was a tough one to take, a humiliating one, but a needed one, and a lot of lessons for us to take, and a lot of time before the next game, 7 days to be specific. In fact, RCB management took the call to allow players to take a few days to go back home. It's that first time going back home after they joined the camp in the summer. And the overseas players whose flights and homes are too far away are all partying in Maldives. So Editor is going to show you a few pictures of that. There's a lot of chatter online, guys, about hey, why are they taking a holiday after a loss? Like, I don't think this is professional. I don't think this is good for our form. So, Ariman, just wanted to get you on this, really quick video, quick short segment. What do you think about this call?
I'm not too bothered by it. I feel that, look, at this level of sport, like it's more of a mental game than a physical game. Everybody's professional, everybody's in good physical form. You exercise, you work out, you take care of your body. And so I think it's a good chance to like take care of the mind. We're in a good position to push for playoffs. So there's going to be some really high stakes, big games coming up, especially if you're looking at even, the Sunrisers and Punjab game towards the end of the season. And then likely followed by that, some like high pressure knockout games. And so that takes a lot out of you. You have to be wired in, you have to constantly be thinking about your game, the opposition. And so a little bit of a mental break is probably a good thing. And I have no doubts that they're hitting the gym in Maldives,
Yeah.
and
Dude,
they're
and in
putting
fact,
in their hours. Yeah.
there's this one picture, and Editor, please put it on screen. There's like a small little grass patch on a huge sand beach, and they have basically a cricket setup on the beach. And I think it's Tim David batting, and I'm not sure who's bowling. But yeah, you can take them out of India and you can take these guys away from cricket, but you can't take cricket away from them. So yeah, I'm not too worried. I'm not too worried about them. But you know who I am worried about? Guys, there is news now. We heard from at least CricBuzz, an official source, has confirmed that Phil Salt has in fact sustained a finger injury and is returned back to England for scans and further testing. There's no update about when he will be back or even if he will be back. And guys, like, hate to be the harbinger of bad news here, but just the way RCB team has managed this, like the injury was sustained on 3rd April, if these reports are to be true. And today we're sitting on May 2nd and just getting the confirmation. So it seems like it's been a little hush-hush, which is telling me, even if he was not going to come back, they wouldn't tell us. Which means, and I'm playing the pessimistic role I always play. Let's assume he's not coming back, right? So, Ariman, question for you, how big of a blow is that?
Yeah, so a couple of things, right? Firstly, I think a lot of injuries, you want to kind of wait and see how it develops. Scans and kind of like getting through your doctor's appointments takes a few days before you're really sure. Probably take in like 2-3 opinions, right? So I'm not worried about that. I think they would want to keep their cards close to their chest anyway. So I'm fine with not hearing any news, right? Like they don't know anything to anyone. And so I trust them to make a good decision.
Okay.
But with Phil himself, like, yeah, if he is injured, we are losing a lot, right? So first of all, his batting, I feel like he's got a good rhythm with Virat. They have a little bit of like a camaraderie going. So that's a bit of a loss. But also he's a really, really big presence on the field. It's not a coincidence that he's taking these crazy catches. It's because he's always fielding in the hot spots, and we are setting our bowling plans up to like force the batsman to hit over him, right? Some of his catches have really changed games for us. He won us the final last year with some of his catching. And so I feel like a player like that definitely adds like probably 20 runs just from what they do in the field alone, right? Kind of reminds me of Jadeja in that way. And so that I think is a little bit of a loss. So we probably have to think about like replacement strategies. I know the obvious one is that Jacob Bethel goes in there. If Bethel really doesn't perform, Venki can go in there. And then that opens up a foreign slot with Duffy potentially coming in. So I think we have a couple of options. Feels like we're going to stick with Bethel. But yeah, I don't know. It's tricky. Something that I actually think about, he's the only other player who can realistically take up the gloves, right? And so if you lose Salt, then you lose the ability to replace Jitesh. And given that Jitesh is in a hard run of form, maybe that is something that is kind of hard to do now. So you could say it's a blessing in disguise for Jitesh and Bethel, because they're probably going to get an extended run in the side, maybe play themselves into form in time for the crunch end of the competition. That would be ideal. But yeah, let's see how it develops.
Yeah.
Actually, I'm thinking about this interesting scenario, right? Like, let's say we do well, we make it deep in the playoffs, and then Phil Salt is back and ready to play. We probably
That
have an
happened last
interesting
year too,
decision.
by the way.
Yeah.
He was gone, I think, for the birth of his son, and he
Yeah.
returned just for the final. And what a catch, dude, he took in the hotspot in the final. But yeah, please go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah, I think we may have that decision to make again, you know. So yeah, I guess we'll cross that bridge when we get there. But yeah, I just want to say, like, it's not a simple, like, yeah, we lost an opening batter. There's a couple of nuances to the dynamic he brings to the team.
Yep. Yep.
And so yeah, not ideal.
No, dude, I fully agree. And I love my Jacob Bethel star boy. I really do. And, you know, there was times I even feel bad that I was calling for a chance for Bethel, but I didn't mean it in this way, guys. Like, this is not how I wanted it to go. I think, you know, when you think X factor in our team, I think Salt is our X factor, man. So I don't want to lose that. And guys, let's all pray that, you know, whatever's wrong with his finger, he can be back hopefully sooner rather than later for the playoffs. And Arman, speaking of playoffs, man, it was a crazy weekend, right? We saw Punjab lose, we saw ourselves lose, we saw Rajasthan, who had already lost, and Sunrisers ended up losing to KKR as well. So, you know, top four, everyone lost, and guess who won? Gujarat, Chennai, and Delhi. So the chasing pack all won their games. Just wanted to get a quick word on, you know, how is this top four race looking overall and from an RCB perspective?
Overall, I mean, for the neutrals, it's good, right? Like, the business end of the competition is heating up. And there was a chance if all the top four won this week, then there would be a clear gap between the four and the chasing pack. But, you know, through divine intervention, I feel like that has not transpired. So it's probably going to be a little bit fun. I still feel confident. I think we're on the right side. We have like a couple of games against bottom table opposition, so maybe that can help us. But yeah, we have to be careful about not getting pulled into the chasing pack. I think we have maybe like a one step advantage right now in terms of points and a really healthy net run rate. So that probably means we are just like edging the pack, and a couple of bad games can kind of sway things for us. So yeah, I think every game is even more important now. And like I said earlier, I think we'll have some big showdowns with Sunrisers and Punjab.
Dude, 100%. Speaking of Sunrisers and Punjab, actually, before we play our next game, they're going to play each other. So that's going to break the top wide open or shut it down, right? I think either way, we have to win on Thursday. And guys, we'll be dropping our preview soon and a very, very special video. I'm not even allowed to tell you what it is because it's that special. Really excited for you to watch it. An exclusive interview with someone who's been with RCB for a long time. So yeah, drop a like, share this with your folks. We'll see you in the next one. Bye guys. Play bold.